Hi everybody, Michael Berge with Digiday, back at the Digiday studios here at Possible on day 2. And I'm very happy to have with us Mark Grether, who's the general manager of PayPal Ads. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you here. So you're a veteran of Possible. You've been here for all 3 years. I'm going to ask you at the end of our conversation a little bit about how you've seen it kind of evolve and grow.
Yeah.
But let's start a little bit with, tell us a little bit about PayPal Ads. It's, I think, less than a year old.
Yep.
You've come over from another retail media network offering that you grew considerably. Tell us a little bit about what PayPal Ads is and its distinction.
Yeah, so at the core of PayPal Ads is what I call the transaction graph.
Yep.
Think about 30 million merchants globally, 400 million consumers globally, right? And we have the transactions from all of these merchants and all of the consumers within the PayPal advertising business, right? And that really was what attracted me to come to PayPal, right? So Facebook, they have the social graph, TikTok, they have the interest graph, and we have the transaction graph.
Transaction graph, okay.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
And that's basically the starting point of building out the advertising business. And it's a really, really amazing and differentiated asset that we have at such a huge scale.
Excellent. I'm curious how Google's seeming punting on deprecating third-party cookies, how much it affects the business that you're in, given that you're putting together a transaction graph that involves some measure of identity, but you're talking about direct information from the consumer base. So does the cookie thing just not even affect you anymore?
You know, I think one of the themes here at Possible is that transactions are the new cookie.
Yeah, okay.
And there's actually a lot of truth to it, right? On the one hand, transactions, payment information is identity.
Yep.
Right? We can identify users. We actually have an identity graph of 400 million users globally. Yeah. And at the same time, transactions are also the feedback loop that you need to measure campaign success.
Yep.
And obviously, we can use transaction data also for audiences, right? And the creation of
course.
So in that sense, we are basically independent from any cookie. It doesn't affect our business at all. I would even say we are much stronger because we have the 3 layers, right? We have the identity, we have targeting, and we have measurement. And again, as I mentioned, across 400 million users and across 30 million merchants.
That's pretty powerful, powerful data. And if it's basically first party, direct information, that's got to be a value. There's also some talk about the massive expansion we've seen in the retail media network space. And some people are saying maybe the industry might be coming closer to a period of consolidation. And I think, current economic worries throw a little bit more fuel onto that fire of conversation. How do you ensure that PayPal Ads either maintains and stands, still stands after the consolidation happens, or finds the right possible partners to link up with as the consolidation happens?
Yeah. So almost by definition, right, we are not just a single retailer who has a single view. We are almost kind of the true retail network, right?
Yeah.
Because we see it across so many, many merchants, right? And hence, from an advertiser perspective, when they can come to us with the insights we have across all the merchants, and now the activation activities that we can provide to them, right? They can come to us almost as a one-stop solution across all part of the inventory sources. We can provide them the insights cross merchants. We can provide them targeting cross merchants. We can provide them the closed loop across the merchants, and which means we can help them on the one hand to optimize their market share across all the merchants, which is key for the CFO.
Everybody wants more market share.
Exactly. And then we can also help them how to basically then optimize spend on an incrementality basis on each of the different kind of properties they would like to spend the money with, right?
Yep.
And so in that sense, I think we're really in a fantastic position to kind of grow this business and almost can bring it to the next level with the fact that we are sitting in this horizontal kind of chair.
Okay. I guess part of that growth is, I believe you just made an announcement this morning here at Possible. Do you want to tell us what that's about?
Sure. We launched offsite ads this morning, right?
Okay.
Which is exactly what we spoke about, right? So as an advertiser, you can now tap into the transaction graph, not just to run campaigns on PayPal and Venmo, which we have announced recently.
Right.
But now you can actually also tap into any media that you might want to get access to, right?
So this includes CTV, but offline as well?
Exactly. You whatever is kind of programmatically available, right? You can tap into, right? We're super excited with Publicis. We have a first agency who's really heavily leaning in.
Oh,
Yeah?
okay.
So that's super exciting for us because again, they appreciate this, the kind of cross-merchant view, right?
Yeah.
And getting access to the transaction graph in such a new way. And so it's really exciting for us that we've launched the business today.
Oh, well, congrats on the launch. So last question for you, like I hinted at the beginning, third possible.
Yeah.
You've seen this thing grow. What's your take on what you've seen so far this year?
I mean, when I arrived here, I must admit I was really overwhelmed by the sheer amount of people are here.
Yes.
And at the same time, the energy, the excitement about our business, right? If you hear and read the press, some people are a little more kind of not so optimistic, right?
Yeah.
But here you don't see anything about it. You don't feel anything. Everyone is upbeat. Everyone is excited, right?
Yeah.
And that really kind of energizes us as individuals, but I think also the entire industry, right? Which is what we need in these days. And so I think Christian and team have done a phenomenal job in growing this conference to what is today.
Is there any particular theme or conversational element that you're kind of listening out for while you're here that maybe you take back to your team?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Obviously, everyone talks about AI, right?
Yeah.
But in the context of advertising, it's really about how does actually purchases happen in the future.
Yeah.
And they may not happen on the website anymore. They may not happen on an app anymore, right? They may happen in the environment of an agentic commerce platform, right? Where agents help you to do shopping, right? And that is also a huge opportunity if you think about PayPal, yeah? Because we want to make sure that when you actually use an agent to shop, the payment is happening in a secure, safe environment, which is really important for consumers as they are getting familiar with this kind of new world of agentic commerce and having someone you can rely on, that you trust,
Yeah.
that you have
Trust is a very big part of your business.
in the last 20 years. It's really exciting. So for us, I do think the conversations here about agentic commerce, about AI, shoppability, right? And how payment can play an important role, and then PayPal ads can play an important role in the future as everything becomes shoppable, is a huge opportunity in the future. So I'm really excited about the conversations we're having here.
Excellent. Well, commerce doesn't happen without somebody changing money, and you guys are in the middle of that. Mark, thank you so much for taking some time with us.
Thank you.
Cheers. Great
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you.